Hello, I'm Andy Jago, pastor of Bethany Lutheran Church and Preschool, and back on the campus of Mundelein Seminary in Mundelein, Illinois, right outside of Chicago. And this is one of my favorite places to walk around and just do a little thinking and spend a little time with the Lord. Right behind me along the walk that is around the lake here at Mundelein Seminary, you run into a statue of St. George and the dragon. It's a very famous depiction there of spiritual battle, perhaps, or physical battle even, with the sword and the dragon representing the devil. So why am I here? I'm thinking of the current chapter of the story that we're reading this week. That's a summary of the book of Joshua. And when I think of Joshua, I think of how I wrestle with this book, to be quite honest, because there's a lot of violence in the book of Joshua. And reading some of the descriptions, I have some trouble with it. So I have to, first of all, take this journey of faith and trust in the Lord. I always think of how Jacob wrestled with the Lord. And so I wrestle a little bit and ask God to give me a blessing. One of the reasons why I struggle is because there's groups out there today who believe that because their faith calls them to, and their sacred writing calls them to, this kind of a struggle with people who don't believe in what they believe. And so they propagate those beliefs through violence. I think of the group ISIS most recently, blowing up the shrine to Jonah, and doing things like that wherever they took control. So that's holy war. Do we Christians believe in holy war? And does Joshua justify us propagating our faith through violence? Well, no. God gave commands to Joshua for that time and for that reason. And I'm still struggling, and saying to God, I don't understand all the reasons why you did that. I know there's one reason that is pretty clear in the Bible, and that is those people that were exterminated in the Holy Land, that were cleaned out of the Holy Land, if you will, by the Israelites. Their religious practices bring nothing but misery and grief and destruction to the children of Israel. So it may have seemed extreme to us in the 21st century reading that today, and still I struggle with it. So then I go back to God in faith and I say, well, is there another meaning that's here? And I believe in the plain words and the historic meaning, but I think Martin Luther helps me also take a look at the meaning of warfare, and Christian warfare in particular. Not warfare like putting a sword to a dragon, but taking the spiritus gladius, the sword of the Spirit. Ephesians 6 says, put on the whole armor of God, because our struggle is with principalities and powers. And our struggle is with sin, it's with death, it's with the devil tempting us each and every day. And one of the things that Joshua points to, his Hebrew name is Yeshua, the same name that was given to a child in Nazareth. And so one of the things that we're going to explore this week, and when you come to church on Sunday, is the Joshua-Jesus connection. Looking at how our spiritual struggles, how the warfare culminated at the cross, and the victory that we are given in Jesus Christ. It's going to be a struggle, I'll be honest, and there's going to be some things I struggle with you, but join me for some of that struggle in the adult Bible class and in worship on Sunday, and read some of these things. See if you can't, if you don't have some questions and some discussion that we can have. May God bless us through the reading and marking and learning and inwardly digesting we're doing in His Word.